What is going on, guys? Andrew Hayes here, back with another review, and today I'm reviewing Glass, which is directed by M. Night Shyamalan and stars James McAvoy, Bruce Willis, Anya Taylor-Joy, Sarah Paulson, and Samuel L. Jackson, and is about David Dunn, who is played by Bruce Willis. Sees on the news that these four girls were kidnapped, and he sets out to go find out who did it, and comes across Kevin Wendell Crumb, which is a man with 24 different personalities, played by James McAvoy, and just all these things happen. Now, this was a movie I was very, very excited for. It was actually my second most anticipated of the whole year, and it is the third in a trilogy. The first one being Unbreakable, the second one being Split, and, ever since, Split, that it was revealed at the end that it was connected to Unbreakable. I couldn't wait to see what they were doing next. And then, the trailers came out, and the trailers were great, and I just became increasingly more and more excited because I love Unbreakable, I love Split, so I was really excited for this. And, and then it started getting kind of these negative reviews. So while that didn't, hinder my excitement, I was just kind of curious to see is it really as bad, and then I had some friends see it who said they liked it, so I was just very, very even more excited to see it based off of that. And I gotta say, I actually very much enjoyed this movie. I actually ended up liking this movie a lot, and to be honest, I really don't get the negative reviews. I know everybody has an opinion, film's subjective, but I really don't get the negative reviews. And I'll go over why I liked it so much. I'll start off with the performances. James McAvoy, who was easily the standout in Split and gives an Oscar-worthy performance in that movie, again, is the standout in this movie, and again gives an Oscar-worthy performance. Just what he does is just something I've never really seen before. He's playing a character with 24 different personalities, and he's constantly switching between the personalities, and he does so in Split, but I feel like he does so even more in this movie. And, just how quickly he goes, from the personalities, and, they each have different mannerisms, different postures, and just how, each one, he makes it so believable that he is a different person, that he is this person with 24 different personalities, and, he'll, be in one position, talking a certain way, acting a certain way in one, with one personality, and then immediately switch it within seconds, acting a certain way with certain mannerisms, talking a certain way, and I just think that's amazing, and, just something I'd never really seen before, and I think that's great. I think, again, Sam Jackson, who is personally one of my favorite actors, is fantastic in this. I love him in I love him as Mr. Glass, and I think this movie, for me at least, establishes Mr. Glass as one of my favorite villains and comic book villains of all time. Also, I just love how all the characters interact with each other. It was kind of cool seeing, the Unbreakable characters back interacting with the characters of Split, and just seeing the whole universe come together, and I loved that. And I very much liked, for the most part, the directing and the writing from M. Night Shyamalan. You can tell this is a movie he really cared about, and he put a lot of care into this movie. And it really shows that through his directing and his writing. He might not be the most perfect director or the best director, but he can make a really good movie with Unbreakable and Split, but stuff like Sixth Sense and even Signs I really enjoy, and even something like The Visit, a fun, enjoyable movie. He doesn't have the perfect track record, but it's very hard to do that. I'm glad to see that he's doing something that he enjoys, doing something that he, making something that is good, because I really like M. Night Shyamalan, because he loves film, and I just like him because of that, because he's so passionate about what he does. And I just think he's a good filmmaker. I do have some negatives though. Before I start, Anya Taylor-Joy, I want to mention, also very good in my opinion. Doesn't have a lot to do, but I very much enjoyed what she did. But yeah, as I said with the negatives, I do have a few. It isn't perfect, but I'll start off with Sarah Paulson. I really like Sarah Paulson as an actress, and she looked great in this movie, but she was kind of one note as a character, and I didn't really like that. I liked her performance. I thought she did fine, but like her character was just one note and kind of disappointed me from a character perspective. And I just wish there was a little bit more depth to her character, and her character did feel like kind of bland and one note. Uh, Bruce Willis, he doesn't have a whole lot to do in this movie, and that kind of sucks because he is the central character of Unbreakable, and I felt like because of that, he should have had a lot more to do in this movie. I feel that just what he did was not nearly as enough, and I would have loved to see more on his character, about his character. What he has is really good, and his performance is really good. It's probably the best he's been since Looper and Moonrise Kingdom, which is really good to see. But it's just kind of disappointing to see how little he does in this movie, and considering, the end with what happens to his character and just kind of the payoff for his character, I felt like it wasn't earned and it just wasn't really needed. And speaking of the end, the last 20 minutes, I kind of have really mixed feelings on. As time went on, I have liked it more, but it's just that there are things I love about the ending, but things that I really don't. There are things that I go, that's awesome, I agree with this being in the film, this really adds a lot to the movie and adds to my enjoyment of the movie, but on the flip side, there's just, stuff that I don't agree with, especially pertaining Bruce Willis and his character. I just don't think the payoff for his character was earned, and I really didn't like it, and it just would have been better if it was different, because what they did with his character, I felt like it wasn't earned, and it just didn't add anything to the movie, and just, I go, well, that just, like, kind of confused me on why, like, it just didn't make sense on why this should happen, because it didn't add anything to the movie. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. It becomes a trilogy with this movie. One that I'm probably going to revisit, and one that I very much enjoy. This didn't disappoint me. I know it was my second favorite of the year, and it wasn't perfect, but, honestly, I don't expect any movie to be perfect. There are movies that, in my opinion, are perfect, but, I'm just very happy that Shyamalan made a really, really good movie, and that, we finally got a great movie, and a great trilogy, and I was happy to see the character back, despite Bruce Willis not doing a lot, and Sarah Paulson not being that good in this movie, character-wise, and just the last 20 minutes, which were hit and miss for me. James McAvoy was really good, and so was Sam Jackson, and it was a really good movie in my opinion. I do give this movie a B+. Again, a very solid movie. If you're a fan of Unbreakable and Split, you're going to love this movie, or like this movie. But, yeah, I can't really wait to see what Shyamalan does next, because he did Split, which was, the second one, and then, did this one. So I'm kind of curious to see what Shyamalan does next. I really can't wait, because I really do like him as a filmmaker, and I think he's really good. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please be on the lookout for my next video, which should be tomorrow. Should be my previews and predictions for the Royal Rumble with my good pal FilmFan0599. So please check that out if you're into wrestling, or not, check it out anyway. But also comment, like, subscribe, do all that kind of fun stuff. Until next time, guys. Have a nice day.